The U.S. Supreme Court ruling Wednesday in a 6-3 decision upholding Tennessee's ban on puberty blockers and hormone therapy for transgender minors, making it the first major high court decision on gender-affirming care. The decision strengthens similar bans in the other 24 Republican-led states, including Georgia, and signals that such laws are likely constitutional under current federal standards. In their dissent, 3 liberal justices argued the ruling ignores medical consents and puts vulnerable transgender youth at a greater risk of mental health crisis and harm. Here to break down the ruling is John Acevedo, with Emory's School of Law. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, a 6-3 ruling along partisan lines. If you can, break down some of those key items that stand out in this particular ruling.
So in many ways, this ruling is building off fairly earlier precedent and not a huge step. So the court's always held that age is not a protected classification. It's also held that access to medical treatment is not a fundamental right. So in the ruling, they said both of these are protected kind of at the lowest standard possible, which is called rational basis. And essentially, it means that any possible rational reason will be allowed. So as long as it's a legitimate reason, your goal isn't to discriminate, they are going to uphold those laws. So what we're seeing here is the court really kind of building off those 2 previously decided decisions and not taking up the opportunity to protect transgender's youth or transgender as a category.
How does this ruling set a precedent for states like Georgia, where lawmakers are already restricting some forms of gender-affirming care?
It's basically giving wide latitude to state lawmakers. So we're going to see probably a split. Some states, California, New York, Massachusetts, likely to continue to allow gender-affirming care. We're going to see other states restrict it even further. The key here is it's to the age of 18. At 18, now it really becomes a decision between the patient and their health insurance company and medical providers. And in many ways, the next fight is going to be whether a state can stop a medical provider, so think Blue Shield, Aetna, Kaiser, from providing this sort of service. That's going to really be the next step in this fight as we move from youth to adults.
Yeah. Do you think we see tighter laws here?
We're very likely to see tighter laws. Georgia will be interesting to see because we're such a divided state. We're really a purple state. So I could see our lawmakers treading a little bit lighter for fear of alienating the population.
All right. What practical options do you see families or doctors have if they disagree with these bans?
It'll be interesting. What we're going to see is, of course, families with means, with wealth, will travel to another state to receive these treatments. It'll be interesting to see if states try to ban the importation of these drugs. Now, the court said that you can use these procedures for other conditions, which is interesting. They said they are not banning hormone blockers or any surgeries. It's just you cannot use those for gender identification treatment. So what we're seeing here is a very targeted law, but that also leaves a wide range to skirt around the law. So it'll be interesting to see how families start to negotiate, how insurance companies start to negotiate. Of course, those who don't have a means to travel, either because of job or wealth, are going to be much more harmed by this. They're going to be more tied to their individual states. Where you are, if you're in Indiana, Illinois is a short hop over. But if you're here in Georgia, most of the states around us have similar bans, so it's going to be a further, more arduous journey out. So it is going to create kind of 2 medical systems and exacerbate that we already have in this country. But we'll see wealthier families will get their children the care they want, and other families will be denied.
All right, Professor John Acevedo, really appreciate you joining us. Thanks for that insight for today. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.